morning right here on World View. The United Nations envoy on genocide prevention, Adama Dieng, warning that South Sudan is at risk of plunging into an outright ethnic war and genocide. He spoke to the media, wrapping up a 5-day visit to South Sudan this week, and said the purpose of his visit was to better understand the landscape of ethnically fueled violence, including hate speech and incitement to violence. He also said he was there to provide assistance where requested. Dieng further said he will inform the international community of his assessment, call for action, and speak with members of the African Union and the Security Council, as well as the Intergovernmental Authority on Development. That's our top story here on World View. But top stories, of course, around the world as well. Sheikh Singata joins me to take a look at the world press. Good morning. What is everybody talking about?
It's all about Trump still.
Oh, yeah.
Because we were trying to figure out what he's going to do. And of course, there's some papers that are trying to look at how his policies are going to affect Africa. So it's the U.S. election scene is still a huge deal right now. Okay. But of course, there's also the landslide in New Zealand and a lot of business stories from some of our business sites. So we're going to take a look at that. Do we have our papers ready?
We can, take a look at those top stories.
Yeah. So first of all, we're having the African news that is focusing on Gambia and the quest to leave the ICC. So according to the rules, after a request is made to the ICC, it will take at least 1 year for you the country to actually leave. Right. So Gambia has up to November 10th, 2017 to be out of that country. We know that Gambia has had its own concerns about how the ICC has been dealing with Africa. They're saying that there are a lot of wrongs the Western countries and their leaders have been doing over the years, but only African leaders get indicted by this court and get, after they're brought before the court, they get, prosecuted and things like that. So those are the concerns that Gambia used to say that we are not comfortable with this court and we want out. And so it's going
very familiar to you,
isn't it? It's been a trend actually across Africa, and I think this is going to be just the beginning of many other nations leaving that court. There's more information and on Ethiopia, Canada, where Canada is stressing the need for the conflict and the unrest in Ethiopia to be quelled and for a solution to be found. There's another story whereby a Nigerian preacher actually...
I saw this, this guy, who predicted Hillary's win,
Yeah, he did, and then he deleted it after because the prophecy did not come true. So he's actually defending his words right there. This is the guy right there. Nigerian preacher defends Hillary win prophecy and delivers democratic lessons.
Well, to be fair to him, she did win the popular vote.
The popular vote, basically,
so she did win
in a way, she did win. She didn't become the president, but she did win the popular vote. So he was right in a way, in a way. So that's what this is the African news site is focusing on. There's more news on Somalia. Somalian president pleads for urgent aid in deadly drought as deadly drought bites. So, like I was saying yesterday, a lot of people focus on the conflict in Somalia, but a huge there is the huge problem of food insecurity and the scarcity of water. And a lot of people who actually leave the country to neighboring countries are running away from the harsh conditions they're living under. And of course, the conflict exacerbates the situation, but still, this is a huge problem. And of course, the president is asking for help on that front. Then we have Dr. Congo Prime Minister Matata Ponyo has resigned, and there's more Nigerian Shiites clash with police during procession. Casualties have been reported. So it's news from all over Africa and what's going on different countries. African news is really keen on what's happening across the continent. So let's move on to another paper, which is let's move on to the Washington Post, where are having Trump and Putin in call talk strong and enduring relations. So this has been the big fear in Pentagon. I know exactly, and congratulate him. And clearly they're going to be working together because they're saying the relations between the U.S. and Russia are not satisfactory, and they're going to work together. This is not what Pentagon and a lot of people feel is ideal, because a lot of people in the U.S., especially in the military and, you know, in the security agencies do not feel that Russia is a nation to be trusted, especially when it comes to its dealing with Syria, because, you know, it has been very active in the conflict.
On the side of Bashar al-Assad.
Exactly, yes. So they're not really for this kind of coalition and partnership, but clearly Trump is living up to his words. So their two aides are going to be working towards a face-to-face meeting, in the near future.
It's a new world order, isn't it?
I know,
After
very
that
strange.
election, we just woke up to a whole new world.
Yes, and then is Trump new chief strategist a racist? Critics say so. So, you know, Bannon has been facing a lot of criticism, and Trump as well, for appointing him as the chief strategist, but he has been linked to neo-Nazism and nationalist view, which a lot of people don't feel is ideal for a very cosmopolitan nation.
But, you know, he is the one who single-handedly, you know, came up with the attacks against Hillary Clinton, against the opponents. And if you've gone to Breitbart News,
you know, you know
it is
why
something else.
people are very against his appointment. And you remember when he actually orchestrated that publicity stunt where Trump had a press conference with 3 women who had accused Bill Clinton?
That's right.
That's the guy who was behind that. So you can imagine the misgivings. And these are both Republicans and Democrats. The other guy, Reese, I forget Priebus, is the guy who is more conservative, he's more proper, he's more acceptable.
But you know, I was listening to Radio France International, and they're talking about a huge clash between the two, because Reince Priebus is more, you know, establishment and knows how Washington works. This guy is the outsider and is so to the left.
And very combative at that.
Absolutely.
So you can imagine them working together. But Trump said that they worked together very well during the campaign, so he expects them to go on. So only time can tell on how they're going to actually partner as, you know, a part of the same White House staff. Then you're having The Guardian that has been focusing today on the New Zealand 100,000 mudslides that have happened. And of course, they're telling people to, you know, conserve food and water because it's not looking good in terms of the nature. And maybe it will take the government a lot of time in order to reach out to people in places where that have been cordoned off by this kind of mudslides. And, you know, the situation is not really ideal. They're trying to get to tourists who are actually been caught up in all that mess. That's The Guardian. Can we move to the next paper and see what's going on? That's The Guardian for you. And then there's still the same story on Bannon. There's a backlash on his appointment. So the headline is US election, backlash over Trump role for far-right aide Steve Bannon. And then there's heartbreak. Obama and Clinton urge Democrats to rebuild. So the Democrats are must be feeling really bad because they lost the presidency, and of course in Congress they were not really doing well.
Senate and the House of Representatives, they've lost the majority.
They've lost the majority. So of course, and you know, it was a really spirited fight. So you can imagine the headline, heartbreak, is really appropriate for that. Then you're having earliest opportunity, making plans to meet Trump after snub to Farage. So Britain has been very clear. They've said Farage is an opposition leader and he is not speaking for the British government. Well, you know that he was very active in the campaigns, siding with
and then
Donald
he abandoned them, you know, after Brexit, yes?
So they say they've been categorical that the British government is not being represented by Nigel Farage.
But you see, because Nigel Farage actually went to Trump Tower, met Donald Trump, took a photo. In fact, Fox News said he is the opposition leader. And there was uproar in Britain. They said he is not the opposition leader. You know, he's a UKIP, but he's not the opposition leader.
You know, he's part of the opposition. And that's the situation in New Zealand that the flooding that has hit Greater Wellington after New Zealand earthquake. So this is not looking really good. People have been caught up in this mess, and of course the government is trying all it can to reach them, but now they're telling people to just conserve food, conserve water, because it's not looking like it's going to let up anytime soon. This is The Guardian for you. Of course, it will be, they give a play-by-play. It's a key event right now. The red means that it's actually a live event. It's ongoing right now. Then the next paper right there is the BBC. Obama seeks to allay Trump concerns. We know that they have Democratic supporters have been in the streets. They have been protesting. They are not happy. They're saying Trump is not my president. So, you know, of course, like Obama, we heard earlier, Obama said this is how democracy works. We vote for someone into office, and no matter who wins, we have to respect that.
But you know what I liked about this speech? He actually still reiterated his differences with Donald Trump.
Yes.
But said, we now have to support him.
Yes.
And his trip to Europe is to just sort of smooth the way for Donald Trump.
The transition.
So that's interesting that they have these fundamental differences, but he can still,
This is how the system works, and Barack Obama has been categorical and open. But I know, according to a lot of, they have even had, analysts have had people who read body language. Taking a look at how Trump and the meeting between Donald Trump and Obama was, and they're saying that he seemed awkward and uncomfortable, while Trump was also not giving off the right vibe, the kind of positive vibe you'd expect of people who are on the same page, which is, we know that what they've said about each other over the campaign period.
It won't happen overnight.
Yes, exactly. So that's the BBC for you.
So this is everything.
Yes.
For now, remember, Trix Ngado will be here at 3 o'clock again with another look at the world press. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Trix Ngado, who focuses on international news right here on KTN News. All right, so we continue right here with the stories we're following for you on Worldview. Now, for outsiders who've come to associate France with healthy eating, it may come as a surprise that 3.5 million French people suffer from diabetes, with some 700,000 French people estimated to have diabetes without even knowing it. New detection technology and a celebrity champion are fighting to raise awareness of the disease. This as the world marked Diabetes Day Monday. Let's take a look.